Coming up, it's election week. Our team works to bring you details on this year's election and how our youth is preparing for it. Plus, Sonora Middle School is taking part in action-based learning, having students exercise during the day to boost energy and concentration in the classroom. And Superintendent Dr. Jim Rollins introduces our district to the program Forward Arkansas, which will help students prepare for success in their future endeavors. All that and more in this episode of Springdale Today.
3.
We are Ellen Tyson Hornets, and you're watching Springdale Today. Woo!
Hello everyone, I'm Amanda Thadnacum.
And I'm Max Roeder.
Today is Monday, November 7th, 2016, and thank you for joining us on our 6th episode. As you may know, tomorrow is Election Day, a historic day that has allowed Americans to exercise their rights.
That's right, Amanda. But our current understanding of today's process has undergone momentous changes throughout our country's history. Nathan Plowman gives us an insight on the history of voting and what exactly it means to be a responsible American citizen.
Election Day, the one day where American citizens can truly express their thoughts and goals on the future of this great country. Sort of. Voting has undergone major changes and breakthroughs before it got to the way we know it today. The birth of the American way of voting occurred the same year we gained our independence from Great Britain, 1776. Voting was initially controlled by individual state legislatures, and only white landowning men over the age of 21 were privileged to take part in this process. It took nearly 75 years before all white men over 21 were allowed to vote, regardless if they owned land or not. However, this did not prevent voter fraud. Poll taxes and literacy tests made it extremely difficult for anyone besides the wealthy and educated to vote. The Civil War exposed the racial inequalities within our country, which in turn exposed more discrimination within the voting process. The 14th and the 15th Amendments changed that, allowing all naturalized male Americans to vote and dissolving racial barriers in the polls. But racial discrimination still existed within the South through the form of poll taxes and literacy tests, eliminating the majority of African American votes. Voting rights stayed stagnant until the passing of the 19th Amendment in 1920, which finally gave women the right to vote. 4 years later, in 1924, the Indian Citizenship Act gave Native Americans citizenship and voting rights. Fast forward to 1964, the federal government passed the Civil Rights Act, which ensured that all men and women over the age of 21, regardless of race, religion, or education, could vote. That same year, the 24th Amendment finally eliminated poll taxes nationwide, and the Voting Rights Act suspended literacy tests and allowed the federal government to enforce registration and voting rights. The 26th Amendment lowered the age of voter registration from 21 to 18 in 1971, allowing a new demographic to take part in the election season. In 1975, the Voting Rights Act was removed, banning literacy tests for good. Section 203 was also added to require voting materials to be translated when necessary for those with limited English skills. The Motor Voter Law took effect in 1995 and made voter registration less complicated. And finally, in 2003, the Federal Voting Standards and Procedures Act requires states to streamline election procedures such as registration and voting. The American way of voting has evolved into a more inclusive process as it is today. However, issues will always arise and changes will eventually be enacted. Make sure you take part in the process tomorrow on Election Day. Happy voting!
I always knew it was important to vote, but I didn't realize how much voting has changed since our country's independence.
Me neither. For those who didn't know, November 8th isn't the only day you can vote. Early voting starts in late October, and it can save you the hassle of waiting in line on Election Day.
Hi, my name is Raymond Cooks. I'm here at the Rodeo of Ozarks, where I'm going to learn the importance of early voting and how to early vote.
When you first come in, you will go to the ladies there at the desk, and they will ask you for identification. In the state of Arkansas, even though they ask you for it, it is required that they ask you but you do not have to give identification. But you will give them your name, your address, and your date of birth, and then they will give you a blank ballot, and you'll take it over to the machines, the express vote, and someone will put you into that express vote. At that point, you make your choices, you make your selections of the candidates that you want to vote for, and also the issues that you want to either vote yes or no for, and then your ballot will print, and it will come out and show you exactly how you voted on that ballot. And then you'll take it and go to the ballot box, and at that point you'll insert it, and then it will count your ballot for you at that point.
One of the benefits in early voting, of course, is that you're going to miss a lot of the long lines, and I know people have to come in after work and that type thing, but you still don't have such a crowd here. We do have more room than a regular precinct. The rooms are not this large, and so if we can get people in to vote early, the better. At the regular precincts, you don't necessarily have the parking accessible like it is here. Early voting is much easier for everyone, and the handicapped people, you have more room here, and so we would just like to have everyone come out and do the early voting.
On November 8th, polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
For high school students who can vote, this will be their first time voting. Politics are being discussed in classes and through the newspaper at Har-BER High. And Springdale High School helps students register to vote and even takes a bus to take students to vote early.
The 2016 election is coming up quick, and with it is a whole new generation of high school voters. The Springdale School District High Schools are doing their best to prepare the kids for voting and knowing the platforms. At the HAR-BER Herald, an entire issue of their newspaper is dedicated to informing students about the election and the platforms of the two candidates.
Well, what we've tried to do in the newspaper the last couple of issues is try to bring to light some of the major platforms that the candidates have spoken openly about, just to get information out to the students. I think the important thing for students, if this is the first time for them to vote, is to come to a conclusion based on their own research, based on their own findings. It's good to listen to the people around you, those adults in your life, but I don't want students just to vote like for what their teachers say or vote for what, their parents say.
In addition to the HAR-BER Herald, Katie Moore's AP language classes were assigned to watch the debates and discuss the candidates' language.
How have you prepared yourself? How has the school prepared you? Where do you get your information from?
A lot of my information I actually get in my AP Lang class, because we talk a lot about politics and everything, and the two different candidates, and watching the debates has also helped a lot. I try not to watch news stories about it, because it's always going to be kind of biased, but everything's going to be. But watching the debates and in class has helped a lot in preparing for it.
Chris, for most high school students who can vote, this will be their first time voting. What have you done in school to educate yourself on the election?
So this upcoming election is obviously a very controversial one, and a lot of students are finding becoming politically active is a lot easier now, especially with some of the things that the primary two candidates have said.
So my students watched the first presidential debate, and they had to capture at least one question and annotate what the answer was. And then the students were required to come in and talk about language that they thought was insulting or degrading from a presidential candidate as an answer to a provocative question. And then we created a graffiti wall of the language we would like to see eliminated from the debate.
Over at Springdale High School, voting encouragement was taken a step further. Springdale High School Social Studies Chair Scotty Parson organized a group of students to ride a school bus and early vote. According to Scotty Parson, this is the third time SHS students have early voted, and for student Kelly Barroso Garcia, she is the first person to vote in her family and is proud to exercise her American right.
I think, all our votes count. And, you're setting an example for everybody else, and they did fight for this, right, and if I just sit there at home, 18, with, able to vote and I'm not voting, it's I'm just denying that right I have, you know? So I'd like to express it, and I'd like everybody else to as well.
It's so good to know that the school systems are trying to educate their students on politics nowadays and getting kids more involved in their country's political system.
Last Monday, Nathan Plowman and Chelsea Hidalgo went out to T.G. Smith to see their book character walk, where all the kids got to dress up as their favorite book characters for the day.
This week, T.G. Smith Elementary had a book character walk. Students celebrated both literacy and Halloween by dressing up as their favorite book characters. Family and friends were able to attend the event to show support for their student and help promote that reading is fun.
I would say that we've been doing the book character parade for about 34 years, since the first year the school opened. So it is a tradition here at Smith Elementary School. We love it, and it really steers us away from scary costumes and things like that. It really promotes literacy. Also, it spurs their creativity too. Today I saw a lot of homemade costumes, and I feel like the kids didn't have to go out and spend money. They were very creative in finding something they already had at their house. The classroom teachers, the reading teachers in our building, and the school librarian have been very instrumental in helping our students come up with ideas.
We just want to promote just how much fun a book can be. It's all about literacy, learning to read, loving to read is really what it's all about. And so we just decided to have a fall party instead of a Halloween party, and then have a book character parade, and just to promote that reading is fun.
The school sent out several flyers throughout 2 weeks ago. That was actually my second time. I have two daughters, and they're both dressing up as descendants from a Disney movie, Mal and Eve.
The whole past week was Drug Awareness Week. Our school counselor and I believe our K-Kids program pick the things, what we do every day. We dress up and do different things. And so often Book Character Day is in the same week, but it just happened that this fell on a Monday, so we kind of continued on. So yes, Say No to Drugs is huge.
Say your drugs! Say your drugs! Say your drugs! Say your drugs!
For Springdale District Television, I'm Chelsea Hidalgo.
Now that looks like fun. I remember back when I was in elementary school, I dressed up as the Joker from the Batman series.
Really? I was a Powerpuff Girl. Now let's find out what's happening all around the school district. So here's News Around the District with Nathan Plowman.
I'm Nathan Plowman, and this is News Around the District. The late Willis Shaw received recognition as Bob and Dennis Shaw accepted the Cornerstone Patron of the Year award at the Springdale Public Schools Education Foundation celebration. The entire Shaw family was honored with the award. All 7th grade students at Sonora Middle School celebrated the completion of an informal writing unit with a book exhibition. This writing unit encouraged students to write a lot and to write for an audience about the books they were reading throughout the unit. Students celebrated by displaying each of their companion books next to the actual books they analyzed. Springdale High School students got to hear from Holocaust survivor Steen Metz last week in the Pat Walker Performing Arts Center. What a unique opportunity to hear a first-hand perspective on a tragic time in history. Dillard's employees visited the Don Tyson School of Innovation Wednesday to share tips on dressing for success, especially when interviewing for a job. Girls were also given makeup tips. For more news around the district, like and follow the Springdale Schools on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
The school district never rests, with exciting new things happening every single day. Speaking of never stopping, up next we will have a series focusing on the social well-being of students in the Springdale School District. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back after this break.
At Springdale Public Schools, we're given every opportunity to succeed because we are #the choice for
Education,
Athletics,
music,
pretty good this year.
Yeah, look at that.
I just had the best idea.
What's that?
What if there was a website where you could go to watch any Springdale District athletic event?
We already have that.
Springdale Athletics is going live with a brand new webpage. One location for all Springdale sports featuring updated rosters, previous scores, and team schedules, allowing you to watch football and basketball live. Go to www.springdaleathletics.org and be a part of the tradition of excellence.
Springdale has that unique population and opportunity for all students to succeed.
With the different clubs, you know, all the different programs, they just have so many choices that are going to help them in the future.
Welcome back. For the next couple of shows, we will feature the social well-being of students in the Springdale School District. Springdale School District has several programs to aid students in any ways needed. This first video is all about the different types of nursing around the district.
Today at T.G. Smith Elementary, we are having our flu clinic. And so those children that filled out their paperwork are getting their flu vaccine. Well, it's important because it keeps them healthy and in school. And they may not have the opportunity, their parents may not have a car to drive to get them to the doctor's office, or can't take the day off work to get to the doctor's office. So this just gives them one other opportunity, another way to get their flu vaccine.
We're here with the dental van, and our dental van travels across our school district to 7 different schools. And with this dental van, which is really awesome, they check our kids who have dental caries, and they do teeth cleaning and do preventative work, along with some of these kids have never been to the dentist. So this gives them a great opportunity to be seen.
It's important to provide these opportunities for these kids in order to have general better health for the entire community, because community health starts with individual health. And so if each individual doesn't have access to these services, then it can't contribute to overall community health.
Grady is here at our school, and he is able to be here because there's a nurse full-time. He cannot be in the building without a nurse on duty for him because he has multiple health issues. Grady wouldn't be able to attend school without a nurse. And Grady, when you hear what all is wrong with him in medical issues, it doesn't sound like he necessarily should be at school. But when you see Grady interact with the kids and you see his ability at school, he is able to do things that other kids can do at school. So he needs the opportunity to be here and have as much interaction with the other kids as he can.
I'm the school nurse here at Central Junior High, and I take close care of my type 1 diabetics. Last year we had 7 type 1 diabetics. That is an outstanding number. This year we have 3. So through this awareness, it's really showing everyone in our community and everyone at the school what these kids have to go through. It's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week thing. It never goes away. There is no cure right now. And through this organization, JDRF, They're raising money and awareness for different types of devices, hopefully also one day to find a cure.
It's important to the community because it helps us to be aware, realize, and to be more cautious of our symptoms and to understand what's like to have in diabetes.
Physical education and safety is also taking new measures. Let's see how schools around the district implement these new standards.
Well, we do know that research shows that the better their cardiovascular fitness is, the better that they do in school. So students who are very active before class are going to be able to sit in class and learn more, and that we know that exercise grows brain cells. The more we can exercise before we go into our hard classes, the better we're going to do.
It's helping me like focus more on my reading and a little bit on my math. And like I'm having trouble with my math, so that's what I need to focus on.
There's like a quiz after it. You have to read, and if you get it right, you get a leave. But if you don't do it, you have to go get another one. That's what I like about it, because you don't get a free pass out. You have to work to get out.
My goal is that I see a significant change in the students that were in the action-based learning lab for the year, that their grade levels, their reading levels will increase because they're getting more repetition. They're getting more practice in defining words and being able to understand what they're reading. So their comprehension is going to grow. So what we do here at Sonora is middle school, we have our students, they get to ride bikes once a week to improve cardiovascular fitness, as well as their secondary is muscular. Changing gears and going up hills will help improve their muscular fitness. They get to practice different skills when they're in the gym, increasing their fitness skills, and same thing, working on cardiovascular and muscle. And then they get to be in the fitness room one day a week. And in here, it's got a total, we try and build a total body workout in here. And so at the beginning of the semester, we give them their stations and what they're going to do. And then by the end of the semester, they have more control of building their own plan. So that when they do get done with being in middle school and they don't have PE every day, that they're able to go to a local fitness center and actually work out and have the confidence to go and work out.
I didn't care about exercise. I mean, like in my house, I would never do it, and I wouldn't even care. So right here, well, I have like a special day for it, and I have to do it every Monday, and now it's okay.
Well, the watch is there for measuring their heart rate. So the goal is to be in the moderate to vigorous heart rate, which is about 60 to 70% of their heart rate. And I try to get them to be there half of their PE time. Heart rate, you can't fake that, and it's good for me to see which kids are working hard. You know, I've seen some kids where I've thought that they haven't been working hard, but in fact they are, because they're just having to work a little bit harder than everybody else. And like I said, since we started using those, I don't have to motivate them at all. The only motivation they need is that watch and looking at the color.
It's fun because it's kind of like the watches that like tell you how good is your heart and how low it is and high it is. We exercise something hard to do, so you could get to our goal is to get to the yellow, but some of us mostly get to the red because we're working very, very hard.
We have resource officers in the school to maintain safety of students and faculty in the schools, to be a liaison between not only the schools but with the police department, to keep the communication open between the police department and the students, and also to build relationships within the community, because that's very strong. So we need support of the community to further our mission as the police.
Became a police officer, well, because I wanted to serve my community. But as time has gone on, I realized that the reason I became an officer is because I really want to serve. I really want to have that positive interaction and build that positive relationship with my community and try to bridge that gap between the negative connotation of law enforcement and the community that there is. What that does is it builds that trust. Having that positive interaction builds that trust, because these kids are going to grow, whether it's from elementary or whether it's from high school. They're going to grow and they're going to be out in the community. And they're going to be doing things and having that trust to know that, hey, I can actually talk to that guy or that girl or that female officer or that male officer, and I can talk to them and have a positive interaction, and to trust that they're actually going to be there to help us like they say that they're going to be.
Our next show, we will feature coordinated school health. Coming up after the break, Rick Schaefer and Dr. Jim Rollins will be in the studio to discuss a really awesome program called Forward Arkansas.
Springdale Schools is the choice for your students to follow their dreams and reach new heights. With the best facilities and some of the best teachers in the state of Arkansas, Springdale Schools is obviously the choice for you.
The Springdale school system is a choice for your students to reach their full potential.
The choice for veterinarians.
The choice for scholars.
The choice for athletes.
The choice for being a teacher. The choice for a business leader.
The choice for you to follow your passions even when everybody else sees them as foolish.
Springdale Schools isn't just the choice for your students today, it's the choice for the future.
Springdale has that unique population and opportunity for all students to succeed.
The opportunity for all of the kids here with the different clubs, all the different programs. They just have so many choices that are going to help them in the future.
Welcome back. Our Superintendent Jim Rollins has a special video with the Director of Communications, Rick Schaefer, about the Forward Arkansas program. Let's check it out.
Welcome to this segment of Springdale Today, where we talk with Superintendent Dr. Jim Rollins. And Dr. Rollins, just recently we had a group come in called Forward Arkansas, dealing with the Springdale School District. Tell us about that.
Well, Forward Arkansas is a group that represents a consortium of partnerships from some of our state's greatest service organizations. The Winthrop Rockefeller Foundation, the Walton Family Foundation, and the State Board of Education make up that partnership that's looking at moving education forward in the state, really creating a educational plan for the state from my point of view. As a matter of fact, I've enjoyed talking to our Commissioner of Education. I've enjoyed talking to our governor about the Forward Arkansas initiative. And I think those state leaders also recognize the enormous worth, the value of the plan that's emerged that we know as Forward Arkansas. So this past week they were in our district. Representatives from Forward Arkansas was here in Springdale. We actually met at the new Springdale or Don Tyson School of Innovation. And we have been invited as a school district, one of 5 in the state, to be a part of that Forward Arkansas plan. And the vision for Forward Arkansas really marries well with the vision that's been in place in Springdale now for some time. The commitment to get each of our graduates career ready and college ready is the vision for Forward Arkansas. So it's a wonderful opportunity for us to grow and extend the work that we're already doing. And when we can collaborate with great partners that represent Forward Arkansas, our opportunity to serve our children better increases dramatically.
This also kind of involves the partnership you have with so many businesses in the city of Springdale.
That's exactly right. We continue to work every day with our business community, our Chamber of Commerce, to try to bring forward an educational program that's rigorous and relevant, and youngsters who experience that program should be great candidates for the workforce, or great candidates to continue their education at the college level. And again, this totally consistent with the vision of Forward Arkansas.
Very good. Forward Arkansas, Springdale, one of 5 districts in the entire state chosen to partner with them. We hope you enjoyed this segment of Springdale Today.
Springdale School's YouTube channel is a happening place. Did you know that you can watch live sports, fine arts, and much more? Here's the lineup for what is live on the Springdale School's YouTube this week.
Be sure to mark your calendars and support these events.
Hey Amanda, did you see that shout out at the beginning of the show?
I sure did. I love it when Helen Tyson Middle School is getting involved in our shows, and you can too.
Anyone from our school district can submit your own shout out. Email them to us at tjones@sdale.org and we will put you in the show.
We've been Max and Amanda for Springdale District Television, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching.